Have you heard the news? The ThinkPad is 25 years old. And to celebrate that, Lenovo is releasing the ThinkPad 25. We're going to unbox it today and show you what it's all about. Stay tuned. Okay, here it is, the ThinkPad 25. Now, what makes this special? Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. It's not the most exciting laptop in the world, but it is pretty interesting, and it's a nice little touch if you're really into Lenovo stuff. Ooh, that makes a funny noise. Let's unbox it right here. Look at this. Now, I don't really recommend buying things just for the box, but they did do a nice job here. So you get this little cool thing. It raises open, and we got the laptop here. So the ThinkPad 25, to be absolutely clear, is basically the T470, which we also reviewed recently. Again, not a consumer laptop at all. This is basically made for people who go on the road a lot and people who just need to do work without a lot of frills. It's a really nice laptop. They did do a couple commemorative things, which we'll touch upon later. But let's go through the box now to show some of the other stuff. Get this little protector here, and check this out. It is the spirit and essence of the ThinkPad design. So people who have ThinkPads are, I don't want to say a cult, but they really, really like ThinkPads. In fact, our own managing editor, Al Sacco, wrote an article. It was basically an ode to the ThinkPad when he used it, and he absolutely loves it. And people just have an attachment to this device in this series. And this just goes through the history here and kind of talks about its development and everything, which is just a nice touch. Coming down over here, we do have the nubs. So that is for the TrackPoint system. If you didn't know, the TrackPoint has evolved over the years, and that's what this represents here. We go from the different ones with the grippy on top to the soft, more velvet one. And on this laptop itself, which we'll show in a few minutes here, they're using the original nub design, which is kind of cool. So here it is, the ThinkPad 25. It weighs 3.5 pounds or 1.6 kilograms. As I mentioned, it is essentially the T470. So coming around here to the side, you get a nice bevy of ports and selection. So you do have a full SD card reader, super convenient. A full Ethernet RJ45 port, which you don't see a lot in laptops these days, not at this size, which is about 14 inches. You do get a USB 3.0 port here, HDMI 1.4, another USB 3.0. I believe this one can also, or is it that one, it can do the power as well when the device is off. Of course, a headphone jack, Kensington lock as well. Coming around to the left side, you do have the venting system for the CPU and GPU. USB Type-C with Thunderbolt 3, which is always a nice touch. So being a retro-designed laptop, it still gets a modern Thunderbolt 3 port, which is pretty great. And finally, your third USB 3.0 port, as well as the Lenovo proprietary AC charger. Opening it up, we got the display right here on top, a Windows IR camera, which is really nice. That is a new addition. The T470 actually doesn't have that. You do have a webcam 720p, which works very well in low light. I was pretty impressed with this camera. Not the highest resolution, but it looks good, like I said, when you're in a dimly lit room. Now, the display itself is really interesting. This is a full HD, so 1080p display, 14 inches. It is 16 by 9. Now, some people were upset about that. They wanted the more square screen that was in the original Lenovo laptop, or at least something like a 3 by 2, what we see in the Surface stuff. But it's a nice display. It is matte, like I said, full HD, but it is also touch, which is a really cool thing. I've rarely seen a matte display like this that's still touch. It's a nice feature to have. Now, there's no pen support, of course, but having that touch screen is really nice, especially since it does lay completely flat, which is weird, but business laptops tend to do that. Now, scrolling down to the keyboard is also where some of the magic happens with this commemorative laptop. It is 7 rows, something you don't see anymore on modern laptops. This layout is reminiscent of the original keyboard. Now, it is not the original keyboard. They couldn't remake that and still fit it into this kind of laptop. So it's got all new modern technology in it, but the design itself is like the original. So you get these more domed capped keys, and they really nice travel. I mean, it really is a great keyboard. You also get some dedicated media keys here for volume up, mute, and the power button, and a bunch of other stuff. It's kind of cool. You do also get a blue enter key. Now, that doesn't obviously change the functionality of it, but again, reminiscent. There is the original TrackPoint design. Now, I don't use TrackPoint. I will say, though, this is a really good TrackPoint system. I do find myself wanting to use it a lot more often. Now, you may be wondering, they don't have the light that used to be on top of the display and would shine down onto the keyboard back before the days when they had backlighting for keys. And that used to work by doing the function key and page up. What that does now is it does the backlighting for the keyboard. Coming down to the trackpad itself, it is precision. Now, Lenovo does funky stuff with precision. It's a combo of synaptics and precision. It works very well. It's very sensitive. I like the feel of it. Sometimes it's a little too sensitive. You can adjust it, but not a big deal. You also get a fingerprint reader, which is really good. It is the type that you just press, so you don't need to swipe your finger over it. It's the more modern ones. It has a little LED light too to come on. Okay, let's talk about internal hardware. You are running an Intel Core i7 7500U processor that has a turbo boost up to 3.5 gigahertz. When it comes to the SSD, you only get one configuration option, 512 gigabytes of PCIe SSD. That's actually a Lenovo branded type SSD I've never seen before. It does pretty well. You talk about 1,000 megabits per second for the read and around 800 for write. For RAM, you just get 16 gigabytes, which is pretty nice. For graphics is Intel HD Graphics 620, nothing special there. But what is special is they threw in NVIDIA GeForce 940MX. Now, 940MX is by no means a gaming GPU. It gives you a nice little boost, though, for things like productivity, photo editing, browsing the web and doing those kind of things. It's better to have than not to have, but it's not going to give you a tremendous amount of graphics performance. When it comes to audio, you got two speakers on the bottom. I won't hedge here. They're not very good speakers at all. They're kind of some of the worst speakers I've actually heard, but whatever, they are speakers and they get the audio done. You can also plug in headphones, of course. Now, when it comes to wireless, you get an Intel AC8265 chip in there, very good chip. There is not, however, LTE, which is a bit of a shame. The T470 actually has that option where you can order it with an LTE slot in there. This does not have that. I would have preferred to have had it, but it is what it is. Now, when it comes to battery life, what's really cool about this, it has one removable battery and one built in. So 2 3-cell batteries. You can pop that one off and still use the laptop and replace it, which is really cool. You can get up to like 17 hours of battery life if you do that with an extra battery. If, however, you're just sticking with the 2 3-cells, you're talking about 8 hours of regular usage per day. All right, so let's wrap it up. The ThinkPad 25, it's a really nice, well, T470. Now, there are some extra bonuses on there, including that really nice keyboard and a little bit of graphics boost, but this isn't really a special laptop. It's really for the hardcore fans out there who just want to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the ThinkPad line. Now, for the prosumers out there, obviously this is not an exciting device, and it's really not for you. It's for the people who go on the road and want a reliable, strong laptop with a lot of ports on it that just gets the job done. And I have to admit, there's something fun about this laptop. I actually really enjoy using it. Now, I wish the display was a little bit better. It only gets around 63% sRGB color accuracy, but it's still a fun display to use. And hey, this is a nice little tribute I think Lenovo did for this laptop in this series. They didn't have to do this, but they did, and it's up to users if they want to go buy it. I don't necessarily recommend you go buy this if it's going to be your only laptop, but for the people out there who have some extra cash and want a little commemorative edition, it's kind of a cool thing to do. So there's a quick tour and unboxing, the new Lenovo ThinkPad 25. Now, if you want the full review, make sure you go to Windows Central. We have all the benchmarks and information you're looking for. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.